Okay, hold up a second. Something here doesn't make sense. You're not emotional right now. You're not watching a heartbreaking movie or thinking about your ex. You're just standing in your kitchen, making dinner, trying to be a responsible adult. You grab an onion, start slicing, and suddenly your eyes turn into Niagara Falls. Tears streaming, nose running, your vision blurring like a bad breakup montage. But hold on. Why? Why is this innocent-looking vegetable treating you like it has a personal grudge? What's inside this little bulb that makes humans cry on sight? Well, turns out, onions are a lot more diabolical than they look. And today, we're uncovering how one simple kitchen ingredient pulls off one of the most effective chemical attacks in nature against you. Here's the truth. The onion isn't crying for you. It's making you cry on purpose. When you first pick up an onion, it seems harmless. Round, quiet, sitting there like it's got nothing to hide. But the moment you cut through it, when your knife slices into those crisp white layers, you've just set off an invisible alarm. Inside every onion, there's a whole miniature defense system waiting for that very moment. It's like breaking into a bank. Everything looks peaceful until the lasers trip and the alarms start blaring. See, onions are living organisms. They can't run, they can't scream, and they definitely can't fight back. So evolution gave them chemistry as a weapon. Inside an onion's cells are two special groups of compounds, enzymes and sulfur-containing molecules. While the onion is whole, those two groups never meet. They're locked in separate compartments, like sworn enemies on opposite sides of a wall. But the second you cut in, you break that wall. And suddenly, the enzymes and sulfur compounds mix together and form a brand new chemical, a nasty little gas called synpropanethyl S-oxide. That's the real villain here, the tear gas of the culinary world. Once it's released, this gas drifts upward right into your face. It's so small and light that it rides the air like a ghost, slipping easily into your eyes. And that's when things start to go downhill. The gas reacts with the thin layer of moisture covering your eyes, turning into a mild acid. Your brain immediately interprets that as pain. It thinks your eyes are being attacked by something harmful, so it panics. It sends out an emergency signal to your tear glands. Flush it out, now. And just like that, you start crying. Not because you're sad, but because your body is fighting back. Every tear is your eye's desperate attempt to wash away the intruder. The more gas in the air, the more tears your body makes. Which is why, if you're in a small kitchen, cutting a particularly strong onion, it feels like your eyes are literally on fire. But wait, why would an onion need tear gas in the first place? What's the evolutionary point of making humans cry during dinner prep? It's not about you. It's never been about you. This entire system evolved long before humans ever showed up with knives. The onion's chemical defense evolved to protect it from predators in the soil, tiny insects, worms, and animals that wanted to eat it. When they'd bite into an onion's flesh, they'd get hit with that same irritating gas. It would burn their mouths or drive them away. It's a survival strategy, simple, cruel, and effective. In other words, the onion doesn't care that you're crying. It just assumes you're another hungry creature trying to eat it alive. But here's where it gets clever. Not all onions are equally vicious. The strength of their chemical defense depends on their growing conditions. How much sulfur is in the soil, how dry the climate is, even how old the onion is. Ever notice how some onions barely sting, while others make you cry like you're in a soap opera? That's evolution fine-tuning its chemistry. The more stress an onion faces in nature, the stronger its defense chemicals become. It's like it's training for war. Now, here's a fun twist. Humans, being humans, eventually fought back. We developed our own countermeasures. Refrigerating onions slows down the enzymes, making the reaction weaker. Sharp knives cause less cell damage, which means less tear gas. And some scientists even genetically engineered no-tear onions that produce little or none of that irritating compound at all. They're called sunions. Yeah, onions that don't make you cry. But let's be honest, where's the fun in that? The sting of the onion is part of the experience. It's one of those tiny, universal human moments, something we've all felt, all complained about, all laughed over. It connects you to everyone who's ever stood over a cutting board, wondering why their dinner prep feels like emotional therapy. But still, it's wild to think that all this drama unfolds because of a microscopic chemical reaction. A plant defending itself from being eaten thousands of years ago, and now making modern humans tear up in their own kitchens. It's biology at its most poetic, and a little bit petty. So, the next time you're chopping onions and your eyes start to sting, don't curse your kitchen. Don't blame your bad luck. Just know you've stepped into an ancient battlefield, a silent chemical war that's been going on for millions of years. You're not crying because you're weak. You're crying because the onion is strong. And maybe, just maybe, it's a little proud of that.